Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Little impromptu stream, sort of semi-impromptu. I decided to do my 19-inch monitor replacement on my Joust cabinet. That came in 2 days ago. Thought about going live yesterday, but wanted to spend some time with the gal. So we had some quality time together. She was off work and I was off work. I'm actually off work until next Monday. So a lot of time going to be spent down here in the home arcade, tweaking things, maybe moving things around a little. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be modding. Let me switch over here. My Joust cabinet. And here's a good reason, or a good view of the reason why. You can see how washed out that monitor is from a left side view. It's horrible. It's very distracting looking at it too. I mean, when you glance over at it and you compare it to the Dig Dug sitting right next to it, which I previously did, a Buy Stuff Arcade's 19-inch monitor replacement, night and day difference. Joust, in my opinion, of all the Arcade1Ups that I've had that have had the washout TN monitor issue, I kind of believe that Joust is the worst. I did own Joust I did own Joust before. I sold it earlier this year, but I just recently reacquired it. In that earlier iteration of Joust, I did do a monitor replacement, a BOE monitor replacement, but it was actually the Dell 1517S replacement. So I went from a 17-inch monitor, TN monitor, to a 17-inch BOE. But this time around, I decided to go a different route. I wanted to do the Buy Stuff Arcade's 19-inch monitor mod. Now, I will say, you all know, or those of you have followed this channel for quite a while, know that I had issues with the Dig Dug mod, and that video's out there if you want to go back and take a look at it. I struggled with it. There were some discrepancies that I had to MacGyver around, and I got it done, and the Dig Dug is sitting next to the Joust that's pictured there. So dead on, when you look dead on at this, it's not as bad, but it's still noticeable. You can kind of see, you know, the fade or the whiteout here, even looking head on. Standing up right next to the cabinet, it's not as bad. But again, looking off to the sides, from an aesthetic standpoint, that's just horrible to me. So we're going to get this replaced. I decided to do this from start to finish, so I haven't unboxed the monitor. I don't even know if there's issues with what they shipped me. So this could be a very short video, or it could be a longer video, depending on how. I trust Buy Stuff Arcades, even after the struggles I went through with the Dig Dug monitor. But I trust that everything is in there that needs to be in there, and that we'll be able to proceed. So let's get started. I've already mic'd up here. I do want to take a quick moment to say hello to folks that have jumped in the chat. Ted Adam Green said, chimed in earlier this morning. And Gallagher Guy 88, welcome, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, you've got a move coming up, huh? Yeah, that's terrible. I hate moving, even though I am going to be moving soon. Yeah, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag As soon as I retire, we're heading to Florida, so it'll be bye-bye Wisconsin at that point. And I don't relish the idea of moving all of these arcade cabinets, but I do want to bring them with me, so we'll see how that goes. And Danny from the Cornercades here. Welcome, Danny. Appreciate it. I watched your stream with P-Dubs from last night. All right, so let's move. Let's go back to the original screen view here. Da, 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 da. Oh, I did drop the link in the chat to the Buy Stuff Arcades 19-inch monitor replacement product. Or not in the chat. I dropped the link in the video or stream description. So if you guys are interested in doing a 19-inch bezel and monitor swap in your own Arcade1Ups, check that link out. I will show you the web page here. Let's share that out. Da, 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 da. So this is the web page from Buy Stuff Arcades for the 19-inch screen upgrade. And again, I've done this mod before. I've done it with my T2, which became a Space Invaders, which is directly behind me over here. Well, that's the pinball. But you can kind of see the Space Invaders right here. That is a former T2 that has a Buy Stuff Arcades 19-inch monitor in it. So I did that one, and I just recently did the Dig Dug, and that one didn't go so well, but we got through it, and I absolutely love that 19-inch monitor in that cabinet. It's just gorgeous. So check them out. So you have options here. So you can choose a little bit of website difficulty here. You can choose your cabinet from this list. They do one for Buck Hunter, Fast and Furious, Ridge Racer, Star Wars, T2, Time Crisis, Street Fighter Legacy, Big Blue 35, or Street Fighter 35th and Deluxe. All the Street Fighters, really. Mortal Kombats, Golden Tees, Simpsons. So you got quite a wide variety of list here of 19-inch monitor replacements that you can do. You can even do Dragon's Lair. So check them out. I will if you're curious how much this costs. All told, I didn't get any special since I'm just swapping out the monitor and connecting it to the existing PCB. When all is said and done, $209. That's how much it cost me. So if you want to see that, let's say I want to replace. What's one I have here? Well, let's do Golden Tee Deluxe. Let's say I wanted to go to a 19-inch monitor for Golden Tee. Here you select whether or not you want the HDMI board. If you're only hooking this back up to the stock PCB, you do not need the HDMI board. If you're making this a gun cabinet, you can have them put in the IR sensors already, so it's ready to go. And that's that T2 cabinet back there. T2/Space Invaders cabinet has those 4 IR sensors built in. So we won't select those. And then if you go back up here, since I selected it, it's $209, and that doesn't include tax or shipping. So yeah, check them out. Okay. Hockey Town is here. Good to see you. I'm sorry to hear that, Hockey Town. Usually they're pretty diligent. This particular monitor, I think it took like 3 or 4 weeks for it to get to me from the time I ordered it. Yeah, 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I'm thinking this one took about 3 weeks to get to me. So let's get started. That's what this stream's all about. This is a typical Sunday show that we're doing. It's just a impromptu mod. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and keep the cell phone camera close up so you guys get a good view of the monitor. Then I'll keep the wider view here. Now, never mind the equipment, the studio equipment that's in the way there. I've got my, You can see my camera there, and you can see my key light there. So never mind those. And if there's a problem with obstruction, I'll move things around if I have to. Let's switch mics. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm on my lavalier mic now. Okay. All right. I'm going to try and bring up the chat on my big TV so I can kind of see. Actually, in order for me to do that, I would have to make the chat visible. Oh. Yeah, that's not going to work. I don't want to fill the screen with chat and cut off the video. All right, let me put my eyes on. Crucial for this. So, all we have here is a well-packaged 19-inch monitor and bezel replacement. So, and I will say this about Buy Stuff Arcades: they do a really good job of packaging this stuff up. So we're going to cut gently. Packaging and taping, they do a really great job. Ooh, don't slice the fingers off. Hope you're all going to have a happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving Eve. I am off work. I am off work until next Monday. And I kind of wish I had some cabinets to build, you know. And they glue. One thing about Buy Stuff Arcades, like I said, they package this really neat. So when they box this up, they glue the thing down so that it's extra secure. So this is going to take some doing to get out of the box. And you can hear that sound as I'm pulling the package apart. So it is a bit of a challenge to get the box open. Those of you that have ordered stuff from Buy Stuff Arcades know they're really good at what they do when it comes to packaging. A little awkward to access, so I'm going to keep turning the box. All right, so now we've got layer one taken care of. Now we've got this other layer. All right, so here is the assembly. There's identifying markings on the back of the bezel. 1024, and it's marked SF Gen 1, Street Fighter Gen 1 maybe, or Joust. So I'm guessing they cut the bezel to match certain cabinet specs. And then just taking this out of the box, they already have the board, video conversion board on it. They have the, I should have really looked up this term for this board right here, but I'm guessing it's LED power. And then they already provide the cable. It's interesting because I don't need this board. Not to do a direct PCB replacement. All right. It usually comes with an instruction manual, but I don't see it. This does not look like Joust. Oh, yeah, I guess it is. I'm a little concerned here. Now, let's get it. The artwork's fine. That's just me. Just comparing it with the existing artwork on the Arcade1Up cabinet, it's very similar. A little different, but the scheme is the same. So I'm going to take it out of the plastic packaging. All right. It's interesting that they provided that board. I didn't ask for that board. The HDMI board. At least I don't think I asked for it. I'm concerned about whether or not this is going to fit. We'll see. Let's preserve this in case I need to use it. I'm Gallagher guy. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I mean, there's only one Joust cabinet for Arcade1Up, so I would think that the measurements are fine. It is curious that they included the board, and maybe that's them, you know, giving me maybe they felt bad after what happened with Dig Dug and just decided to throw the board in. I don't know. Okay, so let's get this box out of the way. We'll save the box just in case. And again, doing this stuff live, there's always a chance that something's not going to go right. You know, Murphy's Law, if anything could go wrong, it will. And usually does. So let's take a closer look at this panel. Okay. So this, well, the light's gonna. So you can kind of see on the larger camera view what the artwork looks like on this, and it kind of matches the existing Arcade1Up bezel. When we get that apart, when we get the cabinet apart, I'll try to lay these side by side so you can kind of compare. All right, so now what we have to do is we have to obviously take the existing cabinet apart. And I do have it up and running here, so I have to shut it down first. Okay. We need to unplug. I heard P-Dubs talk last night on Cornercade's stream about how he didn't want to do live modding or builds or anything because he doesn't like the way he sounds. And for me, live streaming is probably easier because then I don't have to go back and edit videos. Let's change the camera view real quick. I'll just make that full right now because the close-up camera is. All right, so what we're going to do is, probably should have taken the back panel off first, eh? And we got to take out the monitor screws. Probably should have taken out the control panel too. But we already have up here on the table, and I'm not gonna mess with it. All right, back panel removed. Let's pull the power. Set this aside. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm taking the screws out of here. Let's do this. I'm not going anywhere today anyway, so if this winds up being long, I don't really care. There, you can kind of get a view of what I'm doing. So just unscrewing the monitor from the panel. As always, I'm using my trusty ratchet screwdriver. And I'm bumping the camera. I can see that already. Let's see. Move it over a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and get the control panel out. The reason why we have to take the control panel out is because it's attached to the, what do they call those? The J pieces, the little pieces that the control panel screws into. So in order to get the control panel off or get the side panel off, we need to be able to free it from whatever the control panel is connected in. So disconnecting. And there we have the control panel. Control panel is loose. All right, we should be able to just take off the side panel now. Maybe not. We have to take off the wings. Yep, I should have done this when it was upright. Bummer. Hindsight being 2020. Do I really need to take the wings off? Yes, I do. I don't need to do the bottom one though. I don't know why I'm doing that. Just the one of the side panel that I'm taking off. Got my trusty headlamp on to help me see. The lighting in the basement isn't all that great. All right. So we got the little wing off. We'll take that out temporarily. We'll set it there. Okay, now we can remove the side panel. Could I have done this and just filmed content for a edited video? Yes, but I didn't want to edit a video this time. I just wanted to do this one live. This beautiful cabinet. I love the artwork on the Joust cabinet. Kind of hoping that the riser cabinets go on sale tomorrow or Friday. Even deeper than what they are now. The Dig Dug, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw my community post, but the Dig Dug Legacy is $2.99 at Shop Hippo. And yes, the monitor sucks, but I love the artwork, so. All right, got our screws removed. And it comes right off. Now, got to be careful of any dowels that might come up with it, that they don't fall out and fall on the floor where you can't find them. Okay. Quick check of the chat. Hello, V Bandit. Welcome. Okay. So let's disconnect all of our cables here. We got our marquee, we got our audio, speakers, And control panel. We're going to need to get this off. Let's get the monitor. Let's get it out. Let's get the entire assembly out. So I'm just unscrewing the brackets here. I call them L brackets. I don't know if that's the correct term or not. Yeah. Okay, we should be able to yank this right out. Yep. Okay, I'm going to set this temporarily aside. Tripping over wires. What I'm finding is I need to move the cabinet to another table. So I'm going to set up a quick table here. Gotta be flexible, right? Okay. Apparently all that working out helps. I did work out this morning. Being off, you know, the amount of time I have available to me to work out is actually a lot more. So I didn't sleep in. I got up at my regular time, so my body didn't hate me. All right. So let's do a quick comparison. So we'll put the Arcade1Up bezel, and here, oh, they do look, I mean, just looking at the bottom, it's just more enlarged or pronounced on the Buy Stuff Arcade. Move the camera around a little bit. There we go. All right. So side by side, you bring them up a little bit so you can kind of see without some glare. So this one right here is your original Arcade1Up, and then this is the Buy Stuff Arcades. So I kind of want to keep the plastic on it for now. I do want to test this to make sure it's working before I put it in. So we're going to get the PCB all settled. This is going to complicate things because I don't want to rip this off because it looks like it's glued down. This board, the HDMI converter board. Again, I don't know why they threw it in here. I didn't need it. And it's pretty solid there against the monitor. So I'm just going to leave it in place. What that does mean, well, No. Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to do future streaming, I probably could just by using the HDMI cable and capturing the HDMI signal, but I'm using the original PCB. So if I were running this to like a Pi, that would be fine, but I'm not. I'm using the stock PCB. So let's get to working on that. Oh, it looks like they pre-drilled. Oh, bless you guys. You pre-drilled some holes for the wireless. That's awesome. Let's do that right now. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. So we're going to get the wireless out of the way. Let's disconnect the wireless. And unscrew it. Perfect project to do on a extended vacation period. I'll get in there. So wireless is free. Now let's unscrew the PCB. I'm going to need some double-sided tape. All right. Screwdriver barely fits. Probably not going to reuse these screws, but that's fine. All right. So you got to be careful when you pull this apart. You've got a grounding wire here, which they've connected directly to the monitor. You also have to make note of the red wires. What end of the red wires are the end wires connected? For here, it's the red wires are pointing towards the wireless connector, so that's how I remember it. But it's always pin 1. And yeah, you got to gently pull that off and hope that it's not glued. It doesn't look like there's any glue in here, so yay. And we're going to disconnect the, I don't know what this cable is. It's probably for powering the backlight. Yeah, I would imagine that's what that's for. We're not going to reuse these cables. So this whole assembly, the bezel, the monitor, is going to stay together. I'm just going to remove the brackets and reuse them. All right, so the next thing we have to, we don't really need to disconnect them. We can leave those connected. So I need to, let's first take the brackets off. Hopefully this all works. Appreciate everybody joining me this morning, watching me. You're probably all getting ready for Thanksgiving, helping out, doing chores, getting the house cleaned up for family. Who knows? Me, it's just me and my gal. We don't really go anywhere for Thanksgiving. Her and I are pretty self-sufficient, and we're making our own turkey dinner. Don't worry, we're going to get turkey. We already have the turkey. We already have the stuffing. We have potatoes and corn and all the good stuff that you have on Thanksgiving. But it's just for us too. So it's a small turkey. Used to go to family gatherings, but I'm not one for family gatherings. All right, so we're pretty much done with the Arcade1Up stock monitor right now. We've taken all we need. We got the PCB off, and we're going to leave the wiring in place, the old wiring. So we can set this aside. We're not going to need it unless we need to put the original monitor back in the cabinet. But I'm hoping that's not necessary. Okay. So since this board's been put in place there, I'm thinking something along the lines of mounting this here, since we have cable management going on here. I just need to make sure I have clearance for the wireless and for the, looks like that's the marquee power. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's marquee power. So I just got to make sure I'm able to attach those cables. So let me get some double-sided, since usually they'll already, if you don't order this HDMI converter board, there'll be some double-sided tape on here so that you can remount the PCB, because normally when you use an HDMI converter board, that means you're using your own game source, like Raspberry Pi or a PC or whatever, because here's your VGA input and your HDMI input. We're not going to use that board. So very interesting. I'm going to have to go back and look at my original order and see if I actually accidentally ordered that, but I don't think I did, you know. All right, so I need to find my tape. There you go. I'll use this stuff. I have some double-sided Gorilla tape. And I'm just going to use one strip. I'll fix the tape there. Then we'll peel off. And then we just press down on the tape. It's snug. It's not going to go anywhere. All right. So that, again, this is for just a monitor swap on an original Arcade1Up PCB. Normally, you'd be placing it flat in the middle here, but we have this HDMI converter board, which thank you, BuyStuff, for including, but didn't need it. Okay. I'm going to need to get my wire cutters. My gal is actually working today, so she's not home. And she's actually working tomorrow, too, but only part of the morning. So, all right, when you, I'm going to have to unsecure this this cable so I can move it to the PCB. And I just don't want to cut the wire. Wish I had smaller pliers. There we go. The wire is free. Let's loosen the ribbon cable, or not ribbon cable. Come on, off of there. Come on. Jeez. Take the grounding cable off. Just got to kind of gently work this connector off. There we go. And am I going to have enough cable? No, I'm not. So I'm going to have to cut this cable too, or this tie. Without cutting the cable. All right. All right, and again, red is pin 1, or in my case, how I remember it, is facing the wireless cable. Okay, that cable is seated. We're going to move the grounding cable to the actual PCB board. If I can get it out. Come on. Come to Papa. There we go. So we'll just insert the PCB screw. And then we'll mount it in the PCB. All right, grounding cable, monitor cable are in. Now let's connect this cable. Only goes in one way, so. All right, now I think we're ready to test. I mean, I might need to find some tie wraps to secure this cable down, but you see we have everything disconnected from the HDMI board, not needed. I mean, if I wanted to, I could pry this up off of the thing, but I'm not going to use it right now. Okay, so let's get the control panel. Always good to test these things first. Oh, we got to do the ribbon cable first. So where I go through the steps of trying to mount this in the actual cabinet, I want to make sure it works and is oriented as with the Dig Dug cabinet. I want to make sure it's oriented correctly. So I need the cabinet power, and I boxed myself in. Well, I'll tell you, if I had the funds, I would renovate this basement into a living space. I actually have, what did I just do? I unplugged the, my Pong pub table. Oh well. Turn the power off on it just so it doesn't spike when I turn it back on or plug it back in. All right, so I'm not going to hook up sound or anything. I just want to make sure this works. Got my mod props, my little box here that I'm going to use to prop this up. All right. All right. I need power. Just glance at the chat real quick. Stardust, welcome. Ferguson Music Group, welcome. Danny, that as I've tried to explain, that's not supposed to be there. I don't believe I ordered it because you have to actually click that option on the web page. But they sent me an HDMI converter board, and whether they felt sorry for me and just threw it in there for having to go through what I went through with the Dig Dug, I don't know. I'll have to look at my order again, but I'm pretty sure I only paid for just the monitor swap. Normally that's not there. So yeah, there's that. Plug my Pong back in. Turn that back on, and then we'll... All right, moment of truth. Let's see if this actually works. What am I not doing? Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Oh, crap. So we've got our power going into power. Let's undo power here. Just check the pins, check the cables. Everything looks fine. Pin 1 is down here, so I've got the cable oriented correctly. Now, this is the downside of doing live mods. Probably another reason why P-Dubs doesn't do it, because things can go wrong, right? We're going to take a peek under the tape here and see if this cable is seated properly. Okay. I mean, did I flip the switch? I don't think so. It says it's in the on position. Make sure I've got power. There we go. I must not have had the right source. Well, that was a scare. And it's properly oriented. Yay, buy stuff arcades. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to take a moment here and get a sip of water because I need to I was panicking there for a second. All right, excuse me if you heard me drinking water. I usually mute myself. Forgot to do it that time. All right, so we know it works. That's good. Shut it off. I do so want to tie that down or tape it down, one of the two. Maybe I'll just tape it down. It's easier than trying to find. I'm just doing a little bit of wire management here. Okay. So now what we want to do, first of all, let's get the control panel out of the way. Take the power out. All right, so we're gonna attach the wireless now. Let's get the wireless back. So they've pre-drilled holes here, and that was one of my comments about the Dig Dug board, is there were no pre-drilled holes for wireless, but it looks like they've done that for me, which I'm very much appreciative of. And I just knocked something out. Come on, where's the hole? Oh, come on. I'm going to take a piece of tape and put it around that so it doesn't pop off. There we go. Okay. One screw in. Okay. Now let's run the wireless cable to the wireless connector. Double points at Jersey Mike's today, according to this. Yeah. Love me some Jersey Mike's. Okay. Now we need the brackets. Now I am hoping that these line up in the cabinet. If they do, great. This will be a lot shorter than the Dig Dug mod was. Y'all, if you watched the Dig Dug video, you saw me struggle with how to attach the side panel without any slippage. Okay, 2 are in. Okay. Okay. All right, so we should be good to go for cabinet insertion. So just to reiterate, the monitor came with a HDMI converter board, which I did not need. So I disconnected the monitor cable and the backlight cable from this HDMI converter board. And I moved them to the original Arcade1Up PCB. So we've got the monitor cable, we've got the backlight cable, and then we put our ground in one of the corners of the PCB. These are your control panel cables, which I did not ever remove from the PCB. And then we've got our wireless connected right now. So that's where we sit right now. Got my wireless mounted up here. Kudos to Buy Stuff for putting those drill holes in. Really appreciate you. Just to make note, and you all saw this in the Dig Dug video, but they do glue this monitor in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots. So if you ever have to pull the monitor out of the bezel for whatever reason, you're going to have to get through all that glue. And if you, I'm telling you, that Dig Dug mod took 13 hours. This one isn't going to take 13 hours, thank God. But okay, so let's put this aside. I'm going to peel this out a little bit. Probably don't need to do that now, but I'm going to do it because I'm thinking about it. Guess I should make sure it fits. Good quality plexi that they use on this bezel. All right, so we'll set it aside here temporarily, and we'll bring the cabinet back over. Hey, Ted, welcome. Okay. No, Danny, I don't want to be here all day. I got stuff to do. Okay. Let's get the cabinet back over. Reorient the camera here. Okay, so we have our hole. All right, so this is top. We know that for a fact. I got to turn it. Oh. Oh, man. Panicking because I had I had to turn the monitor around. Oh my God, are the holes going to line up? Yes. moly. A little bit off, but not by much. I can get the screws in there still, I think. So let's get to work on that. I'm going to put my headlamp on so I can see what I'm doing. Make sure I'm not blocking here. Yeah, they're a little bit offset, but not nearly as bad as what the, of course, maybe I don't have it seated right. Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap there. Let me look at this from the front. Well, the plexi's sitting flush against the surface, so. Well, it is what it is. Looks okay. Put one over on this side. Get 2 more screws. I can't tell you how pleased I am that these line up enough that you can get the screws in. Buy Stuff Arcades, thank you. Again, Buy Stuff is great. I mean, I love Buy Stuffs. They just had a hiccup with the Big Dog, so. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and make my connections here. We've got the speaker. I got to remember which one's a speaker. That's marquee, and speaker is down here. There we go. All right. So my connections are made, all except for the control panel, which we know about and we'll take care of. So let's put the side panel back on, huh? Okay. Always fun putting the side panel back on. Okay, we're in there. Oh, we gotta get this in. Gotta get the kick plate in. That snapping sound is like one of the most satisfying things when building an Arcade1Up, isn't it? I mean, you work so hard to get it in there. So what I typically do is I like to get the bottom in, and then I'll secure it. Then the top one, as we all know, is probably the most complicated. We'd love to get some screw cap covers for this. And the Dig Dug, really. All right. Move to the back side. Make sure we're lined up. This is in, so we'll do the bottom here first. Come on. There it is. Gotcha. Always, if you have a headlamp on, you can look down the holes and make sure you got it. Got the screw. Especially with those P panels that split, you know, the two pieces of the side panel together. They're screwed on either side. All right. Now, normally I would just, since we're trying to get this lined up and in, okay, that's in. Okay, what's the hang up? Why am I not seating correctly? This is the tricky part. All right. Looks like it's there. It is. I had to move the monitor a little bit. It wasn't getting in the groove. You've all been through this pain. Okay. Let's go around one more time and make sure they're all tight. I don't go overly tight. I've mentioned that many times on my streams. I just like to make sure it's snug. You don't want to push these screws through the side panel. That's the big thing. That's why I don't use a drill. Need a screw over here. Okay. All right. Make sure I can get at the plastic. Yes, okay. All right, we're at a point where we can get this upright. So I'm gonna need to clean some of this stuff up first. I do have a second mod coming for this, but it's the riser, the LED riser panel, so I don't need to worry about that right now. Easiest way to grab this. Okay. So let's get some of these tools out of the way and get to an upright point. Those we need, these we need. These we do not need. So these go into the spare parts bin. And yes, I have a bin sitting on my desk. That's a spare parts bin. Gotta say, this mod went way better than the Dig Dug. So far, so good. This is also kind of the downside of not shooting content and editing it later is you all get to see all the stuff that goes on in between. Okay. All right, let's turn off this light, get it out of the way. Oh, disaster. Ooh-wee. Sorry about that, folks. Hope I didn't give anybody a headache there. I tripped over the power cable from my phone. All right, front and center. I'm going to rip off this plastic right away. A couple of boogers. Looking good so far. Or you're getting that glare. Put this back as far as I can without any glare. All right, so we got to put that wing back on. Where'd the dowel just fall? I lost a dowel. Where'd that thing go? Oh man, I'm just losing parts left and right. All right, we'll just get one out of the spare parts bin. All right. So we're putting the wing back on right now. Okay. Control panel. Well, I hope this reaches. Might be easier just to connect it from behind. I think I'll do that. And again, maybe not. Holy crap. No, it's not going to be easy with the size of the monitor. This might be tricky. I'm going to have to do this by feel because the cables are a little bit shorter now. Not easy. Come on. Might be easier just to disconnect it from the PCB. Did I get it? I don't know. We'll find out. Okay. All right, I'm not going to connect the I'm not going to screw in the control panel just yet. I want to get the power back in. Oh. All right. Back panel is in. Are we going to be confident that I've got everything connected correctly? Let's hope. The benefit of mounting the PCB that way open is that it gets more air, so your chances of overheating are a lot lower. Okay. So let's plug our power back in and fire her up and see what we got. Well, that's good. That's a good sign. Well, Robot Ron, the good news is that it appears to... There's audio. Whew. That monitor looks a heck of a lot better than the original. I have to reset up my internet connection. For whatever reason, when you disconnect the wireless cable or just disconnect the PCB in general, you got to go through the whole setup process for the... That is why do I have to go through the keep current user? All right, so I've got my wireless now. The wireless is set up. It's loading. The high scores are loading for each game. I'm going to bring the mobile camera in closer so you guys can see it a little better. Try and keep the glare off of it, but you're gonna see glare anyway. All right, Awesome. This mod went pretty much flawless, really. All except the only gotcha was the fact they threw a little curveball at me by including the HDMI converter. So, but other than that, I love this 19-inch screen. I love the artwork that they have around it. It's kind of minimal artwork, but I mean, when you go from a 17-inch to a 19-inch, you're losing some bezel space. So it's kind of hard to put anything different in there. It's got to match the original artwork and the cabinet. So I'm going to screw in the control panel now. Oh, I got to open up the back again because I didn't do the other side of the monitor screws. Bummer. So a lot of the artwork that they have down below is cut off by the control panel. But, you know, I'm not, that's another caveat. I mean, if you want that artwork down there, you're going to have to make some control panel adjustments. And I just don't see how you can get it any lower than it already is. There's a little bit of the red line that's appearing. All right. I'm missing a screw. What screw did I not put in? Well, that's interesting. I've got a B screw left over. It's got to be the wing. Yep, right there. Right there. All right, so it's pretty much back together now, except I got to do the well, yeah, all of your artwork down below is cut off by the control panel. You can't really do much about it. You're putting in a 19-inch monitor. You're losing some bezel space. So yeah, could a little bit of adjustment take place here? Maybe move it up a little bit, lose some of this in favor of some of the bottom artwork, maybe. But it still looks good, and I have a 19-inch monitor, so. Well, I'm using the fast. Ah. Ah! Oh. So mod complete, really. Ah. Okay, she looks beautiful. Again, the only bad thing I would say about the bottom bezel artwork being cut off, that's fine. I mean, I understand that and the limitations with going from a 17 to a 19-inch. So, and you know, just an inconvenience of having that HDMI board. So we're going to shut her down, and then I'm going to go back and screw in the monitor. All right. And we'll probably put it back in place too. All right. Da, da, da. I'm going to probably zero. I'm probably going to keep the existing riser because I have a, I like the riser LED panels that Tulsa Arcades does. You see them on some of my arcades like the Tron and the Tempest. And I've got one on order for the Joust, and that'll be my next mod is doing that. So. Okay. Take the power out. And then so the screws I have to do are on this side. Just attaching the monitor to the other side panel. Holes match up over there too. That's good. Would I be concerned about it if they weren't? Yeah, it would be a little annoyance, but I could live with it. I don't think I could have pushed that whole assembly up like I did with the dig dug. Okay. Monitor is fully attached now. Now I can put the back panel back on. Okay, that's in. Great. So I have a couple of TN monitors if anybody wants them. I mean, I'm not going to use them. Why would I? They're terrible. All right, let's get this thing back into place. So we're going on 2 hours here. So that's not bad. Better than 13, which is what Dig Dug took me, just to sort through all the MacGyvering. Okay. Unplug that. Oops, do not hit the cabinets. Okay. Make sure it lines up okay. Yeah. All right, let's get the cabinet power. Oh, what did I just unplug? Damn it. Hopefully the stream's still going. I think I just unplugged my streaming PC power, which it runs off the battery, but and everything got moved. Okay, that's still there. Hey, P-Dubs, Gotham. Yeah, P-Dubs, live modding, just like you hate doing, because I heard you say that last night on Cornercade's stream. But we're done. I'm just hooking everything back up. Just putting the cabinet back where it belongs. Great. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me get this table out of the way. Don't hit the arcade machine. I got so many tables, it's ridiculous. But they serve a purpose and come in handy. All right, so that's out of the way. It's not going to look too good because disconnected from power. Still going to get glare off this side too. Well, hey, let's turn off the house lights. Still got glare off the signage in the back. Oh, well, she's home. She's where she's supposed to be. You're seeing parts of my basement reflected, but that's all right. Power on. Fires up, that's good. So much better than the 17-inch TN monitor. I love this game. Ah! Wasn't paying attention. Oh, I thought for sure I had it. Really? How did it get all the way back down there? No. Ah. Kind of hard to play off to the side here, but I did get the high score. Yay. Okay. I need to sit down. Oh. Ooh-wee. Okay. It's done. Took a little less than 2 hours, as opposed to my 13-hour Dig Dug 19-inch monitor replacement. So yeah. "12 people here watching. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it on this Thanksgiving Eve morning. I'm gonna let's just bounce through the chat here real quick because I haven't been monitoring it very close. Just make sure I got everybody. Stardust, hey, thanks for joining. You say you want to do a mod like this, yeah? I can report that the Joust monitor works a lot better than the Dig Dug monitor did. So kudos to Buy Stuff Arcades for getting that right, and I appreciate it. Thank you for including the HDMI converter, which I didn't need, but you know, if I need it later, I'll figure out something for it. Let's see. This is probably a good idea, Robot Ron. And I kind of wanted to do that, but I was missing the cabinet, so I decided to build it. I'm going to change this screen over here because I was kind of seeing myself on the screen in the back there. But yeah, the smart thing would be to wait and build it after you get the monitor. But I didn't want to wait, so I built it and played it for a while, and then thanks, Ted. I always appreciate your positivity and your comments. Much appreciated. Yeah, that screen was bad. It's one of the worst of the TN issues that Arcade1Up had going on. That was definitely one of the worst. Should be, but you know they're trying to keep costs down. I don't know how much cost difference there is between a 17 and a 19-inch for Arcade1Up, but I think the MK2 Legacy is kind of the same as the Joust Legacy, but I'm sure that's an option available on the buy stuff. Let me look. I have their webpage still up. So they have the Mortal Kombat. I keep hitting the mic here. They have the Mortal Kombat Gen 1, the Mortal Kombat Legacy. They have separate options for Gen 1 Legacy, then the 30th, the Mortal Kombat 30th, and then the Deluxe. So if you're thinking, it depends on which Mortal Kombat 2 you have. If it has the riser, make sure it's not the 30th. If it's not the 30th, then it's probably the Legacy. So with Mortal Kombat, they release so many different flavors of that and Street Fighter. You just got to be careful what you order off of Buy Stuff's website. I think I answered this while I was going, Zero. I'm keeping the riser because I'm doing the riser panel. I'm going to orient the camera against the two Tulsa Arcades lit risers that I have. You can see them. The advantages of having a wireless NDI camera, it can move around, no wires. Let's go back to this view. So you can see this is on my Tempest and my Tron. The camera doesn't really do it justice, but they're beautiful. These are LED backlit artwork or plexi artwork, one for Tron and one for the Atari Legacy. And there's just an LED strip that's mounted on one of the inside riser panels, radiating against this clear plexi, where it's not clear plexi, it's it's plexi that has artwork on it. So they're just beautiful. I can adjust the colors of the LEDs if I want. I can make them blink, that kind of thing. So I've got one on the way for Joust, and so I'll be doing that. That's why I'm not going to be getting rid of the riser. Someday I might try one of G.I. Joel's inline risers, but not in the near future. Yeah, I don't think you'll ever see this from Arcade1Up. Not in the shape that company's in. I don't even think you'll see it with Media One Up, John D's new company. So just not a viable option for any company right now. Joust is a great looking cab. I agree. I totally agree, Zero. Yep, live modding at its best. Gotham, happy holidays to you, man. Happy Thanksgiving. And that goes for everybody. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. I hope you get lots of turkey, lots of good food. If you're not eating turkey, I hope you get all the food you can digest tomorrow. Oh, speaking of this, Zero, I was going through pictures on my phone for the last year because I like to organize my pictures into folders on my phone, and I haven't done it in a while. So yesterday I was doing that, and I came across some pictures of after I did my second round sale of arcades, and boy, did this place look depressing. It really did. So I'm so happy that I'm so happy that I got a lot of these back. So Golden Tee Deluxe is next on my radar, but it all depends on what happens on Friday. We'll see. If there isn't a better deal for me to jump on Friday, I'll probably buy Golden Tee Deluxe and get the Kohl's cash and turn around and buy another one of the Arcade1Ups on sale. So, let's see. Yeah, I heard this last night, P-Dubs. I laughed when you said it because I kind of understand. But for me, live modding, as long as nothing goes wrong, it's easier for me. I don't want to have to edit anything together. I'm just lazy. All right. So with that, I've gone through the chat. Again, thanks everybody for hopping on and watching me do this. It went a heck of a lot better. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy that it's 19-inch screen now. It looks great. It's a big improvement over the TN. And so, yeah, what I'd like to do is, take this opportunity to wish everybody, well, premature, wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I'll be checking in on everybody else's live streams. I'm off until next Monday. So who knows? Maybe I'll stay up late and actually catch a live stream live. We'll see. But have a great Thanksgiving. I'll see you Sunday. I'm doing a show on Sunday, or I'm planning on it, unless something goes wrong. So I'll be glad to see you guys on Sunday. I don't know if I'll have anything to mod or do, but we'll play it by ear, right? Well, if it's just a 30-minute show, just talking about stuff, it's just a 30-minute show. So have a great holiday, have a great weekend, and stay safe. And until next time, I got next.